Good evening. Welcome back to Lonely Mountains Downhill. We can try more of the night things. We still have these two freerider challenges to do at night, which I think should be doable. And while I'm at it, I might as well complete these trails with the Pacebreaker and the Boar. So we're trying night mode trail 3 freerider, which has to be with the Pacebreaker. Okay. I'm gonna go as slowly as I possibly can. There's literally no point in being risky. I'm just treating this like a chill bike ride down a very steep mountain at night. It's very possible this will take a few attempts. Hopefully not more than 2, but you never know. From memory, these greater horn trails are not that long, especially compared to some of the ones in Redwood Peaks. Is this the one with the steep? Yeah. The steep descent. That went fairly well. Can't really see where I'm going. The most... oh no. I couldn't see what was ahead. And on a less important note, Rokola was distracting me because she found something on the floor that made a bit of noise. Okay. I'm pretty sure I said it in a previous video, but this game goes from very chill to pretty kind of rage-inducing very quickly, because everything is fairly easy up to a certain point. And then it's just a complete disaster. And I'm really starting to dislike the Pacebreaker with quite the passion. Because it's uncontrollably fast a lot of the time. It's not all that grippy. And very fragile. I'm wondering if there's a way to skip that steep hill. I haven't played this game in quite a while, so I don't remember most of the trails. Okay, there was a jump coming up. A small one. That's what I mean. It's like I am full on the brakes in those descents, and yet you just pick up way too much speed. I don't want to commit 100% to finishing this, because at some point it's just going to devolve into the same situation as the previous attempt at this video. So, yeah. Either I'm gonna have to cut this up quite a bit before I move on to something else, or cut it up quite a bit and finish the challenge. This descent, ironically, is not the biggest problem. A big thing is just not getting too close to the edge. Because when you start getting close to the edge, usually, or often rather, you just slide off. Okay. Don't really want to mess it up from here, because we're kind of on the final stretch. So just take it nice and easy. And a flourish to the finish. Okay. All that effort just for a paint job. I don't think it matters if it's nighttime or daytime to complete the finished with part of the game. So let's just go through these on Explorer, Boar, maybe it's not even worth doing, but you know, it's a thing to complete. It's a losing battle trying to record in this household. Because after a certain point, our cats get a bit mischievous. And it's currently 10:30 at night. Usually after 9 there's a good chance they start roaming around the house and making noises. And before 5 there is the noise from the construction across the street. And in between those 2 times there is dinner and a fairly small window to record. Oops. Yeah, this is the trail that messed me up the first time in the attempt at video. Because it's really difficult to find big enough shortcuts that actually make a difference. And there is that very devious turn where I always go flying. And generally the bigger shortcuts are more difficult, more risk of crashing. And you have to do both of those things with the Pacebreaker. The flimsiest bike known to man, apart from the Javelin, I suppose, but I don't have that one yet. Okay. Easy enough. So these are all finished with all the bikes we have. This one, not so much. I need to do this with the Pacebreaker, the finished with thing, and also this expert challenge of 2 minutes 15 or less with 7 crashes or fewer. I'm gonna try, but the main priority is just to finish the trail. Because this one I tried as well. I wonder if you can do that. It's like down here. And then you have to aim rather precisely. Okay. I'm gonna try and not focus too much on the time. Just on not falling. If I can help it. Well, yeah, that's not gonna work on this bike. I'm already at 3 crashes. 8 seconds slower. I really don't understand how that's possible. Do you see my point? Why I don't like this bike very much? It is by far the fastest bike we have available. But still, even when just going as fast as I dare on the main path, every checkpoint is much slower. which leads me to believe I'm just not taking the right shortcuts. And I'm just not good enough at the game to do this within the time limit and without breaking the crash limit. This is very risky with all these trees, but we might just make it. Wow. Did not expect that. But somehow we did it. It's another thing marked off. This one I'm not gonna try now because it will just not end well. This one complete. This one we can't do. I still need to do this one with the boar. I do want to try these bigger shortcuts. No, maybe it's kind of a shame that I'm doing this on Explorer, because that way my time is not being registered. Which doesn't matter, but it does make me a bit curious how fast I can do this trail with the boar. But yeah, it doesn't matter all that much. I'm not going for any high scores compared to other people. In terms of my schedule, I mean, I haven't really thought about this in depth, but I know, and I guess I apologize that I keep changing the schedule, and like in this case I said I was going to play Cairn until it's finished, which I have been doing for a few weeks now, but now I'm already thinking about changing it up again, because I'm recording more of the session manual catch career series. Let's do beginner with the boar just so we can do a time. So yeah, I mean, I'm very inconsistent in my attempts to be consistent, if that makes any sense. Because I want to have a schedule more or less fixed. But for whatever reason, I'm just never really able to stick to the schedule I set forth. My point is that, I mean, the overarching thing I've been thinking about is that maybe I should just not update you as much on schedules I will be trying to follow. Come on, can you not? That's not the way. Like, I can see how there would be a kind of freedom in not having any kind of schedule and just purely making videos based on whatever game I want to play at any time. Whether that's the same game for a number of weeks exclusively, or a fixed rotation of a few games, or a few videos of one game, then a few of something else, just without any kind of pattern. Part of me wants to do it like that, but I don't know if that matters at all to you. It's very easy to get caught up in trying to be more professional than it's really worth. Because in the end, I'm not making any money from this. It would be amazing if that would ever happen, but yeah, that could happen relatively soon. It can be another year or more. So maybe it's just not worth all the aggravation to adhere to a schedule with no compromise. And like, I don't know. I hope that's already a bike outside. I hope that already makes enough sense. I have a kind of bad habit to agonize over things that don't really matter. Okay. I missed a checkpoint. Full on the brakes. Of course, I do appreciate any feedback on this. Like, I tend to not get very much feedback, which is fine. Like I said, it's not... This is not a business. I just make gaming videos for fun, with some aspiration to maybe make some pocket money on the side at some point. But it's really... I'm starting to repeat myself when I think the point was already made. that I'm kind of torn as to how to approach uploading videos on any kind of schedule. Okay. I died. But I did spot something that I want to check out, if the bike can turn the correct way. It seems you can maybe drop down here. I don't know. I don't think that's a viable path. To summarize and move on to a different topic at some point. This bike is killing me. This is supposed to be a good bike for like rougher handling, but it's still bouncing all over the place. So yeah, to summarize, a part of me wants to stick to a schedule, but a bigger part of me doesn't seem to be able to, and just wants to, you know, wing it in terms of which games I make videos of at any time, with no consistency in terms of frequency and whatnot. Can you just not fall off a cliff? And that bigger part of me just wants to embrace the chaos and, you know, still publish videos frequently, like with a fixed frequency more or less, but not really adhere to any kind of routine in terms of games. What happened? Sorry if this is all dreadfully boring. I like to think it doesn't really matter what I talk about. Maybe it does. Okay, so that's all 4 bikes, 4 bikes, 4, 4. A minute 40 with 7 crashes or fewer on the Boar. That should be doable, right? Wait, yeah, that's the one we just tried. I got 5 crashes in the previous run, so I think I want to give that a go. Famous last words. How hard can it be? These crashes don't count. Now they do count. Maybe I have the wrong idea of these challenges, and they're not as hard as I imagined them to be if you just think of them as 2 challenges in one. Six seconds, okay. Really, of all places to crash. come on, seriously. I might have to redo this. There's still time. Should be good. Yeah. Sweet. Maybe I was overestimating that other expert challenge, the one on this trail. Although I did finish those runs and it was always overtime. I'm still not gonna try it. This one we can't do. This one we also can't do yet. And that's everything for the night mode that's available. So we have to move on to Redmore Peaks. It's possible I forgot to mention earlier that I also tried to look for the 4th resting spot in that attempt at a video. I thought the last one should be on the last trail, but I did kind of cheat and look up a vague hint where it is, and apparently it's on this trail, Summerbridge Road, which means there are two rest spots on one trail, which is a bit stupid and kind of mean in my opinion. But yeah, so just checking what I can do. This expert challenge is not available. I do still need to finish this one with the Boar. Same for this. There's one expert challenge here which requires the Boar. And one here on the Geronimo, which we don't have. And I'm fairly sure we don't have any night mode stuff done yet. No. Okay, so no, that happens way too often that I just switch back to the previous or the next mountain. Okay, so this one we will just finish with the Boar with no pressure. I don't think I do have a new paint job. Yeah, let's go green. And just for fun, let's go with the black outfit. Okay. So we don't need to do anything except finish the trail. Like I said a few times before, it's not necessarily beneficial that I switch trails so much because I have a hard enough time to remember all these trails as it is. But yeah, for this one, it doesn't really matter how well we do. Really? I decided too late that I wanted to go over the tree. By that time it was already way too late. But I thought I could still get around it. Oops. Okay, could have gone straight there. saw too late. In fact, I'm not even sure I ever saw that. Because I remember wondering where that one fallen tree comes from. It's weirdly phrased. But I mean, I always saw a fallen tree there, but I could not figure out where you had to enter the shortcut to end up there. No. Always that same one. That is possible. I keep going too far to the right. Don't sprint here. Yo. Could have ended worse. I think this is pretty much it. Okay. Hardly a record time. Okay, so here we've done everything we can do. Then let's do this with the boar. I can't believe I never noticed this, but are those green markers the rest spots? I think they are, but it's hard to say for sure. Oh yeah, so not gonna go for any kind of time here. Just boar and then look for the rest spots. Nope. I do remember scouring this trail to find the first rest spot here. So I shudder at the thought that there is a second one somewhere else. I'm positive I checked here. No. It's very, very tempting to look up exactly where it is. Because I might just about lose my mind trying to find it. You can't go any further right, so surely that's not where it's gonna be. What's down here? Not all that much. No, I don't see how it could be anywhere on that side. You never know. Now we do. Down here, no, I don't see how there's anything here. I'd be willing to bet it's not here. What? Find your first backer message? This is Frank Rawls' tree. Would you like to hit it? What the hell is that? I have a feeling we came across one of those signs previously in this video. Okay, this way. No, there's not gonna be anything. So are those, I forget what they're called, those messages, are they another collectible? Huh, what's down there on the right? I wonder. So let's get this checkpoint. Oh, okay. Die School for Games wünscht Hals- und Beinbruch. In my worst German. That's kind of random. I'm sure I've seen some of those signs before, but of course now I won't remember. Nope. How did I get to where I wanted to go? Can you go there, or is it... Like, did I crash because it's too high of a drop? No. Surely this is not the way. If only I didn't have to redo this section in particular. That's where I tried to launch, so that's not gonna be it. That path would have taken us down to there, so that's also not gonna be it. Can I please make it to the next checkpoint, because I'm losing my mind. Yeah, I mean, no. And here there was that shortcut, and this was the path to the first resting spot. Which we did find. So, where in the blazes is that other one gonna be? In my humble opinion, it's not really cool to have two rest spots on the same trail. Then just have 3 on this area. Instead of 4. But yeah. I do want to check that again, because it seemed like it might be Although, no. I don't think that's it. It is tempting to check again. I don't think I'm ever gonna find that one if I don't look it up. I cheated again and looked it up again. More specifically, I didn't look at the details, but I found that there aren't 2 resting places on track 2, trail 2, but there are 2 on trail 1, in fact. So actually, I do want to check this out again. I stopped caring about looking it up. I'm still gonna try and not look it up right away. Like, I will still give it a college try to find it for myself. This one and future ones. But I care more at this point about finding them all than about finding them all purely by myself. No. I could have seen, like, the guide, if you want to call it. That's not really a guide, but it said between which checkpoints the resting places are. But I turned on my selective vision, so I didn't actually see. I know we found the one up here on the right, across that fallen tree. So there should be another one. Not there. I could imagine it being somewhere on the left here, because you're naturally going far to the right. But yeah, there's nothing. So I think we can rule this whole section before the bridge out. Can it be there? On the far end? I don't know how you would get there, so I'm gonna say that's not it. Here, no. You can go there, but that's just an alternate path. Up here, also nothing. I don't know. No. Looks pretty, but it's nothing. Can you? No. For a second it looked like you could go here. There's really nothing. No. Down here, that's just a shortcut, I assume. An interesting one. I don't think I've ever tried to go there. Can you go here? Or that's very suspicious. Because you can somehow get across here. Although that looks just like a shortcut. But there is a path down here. Is that also just a shortcut? So I have to remember. Because apart from being very narrow, maybe it is worth exploring if you don't veer off into the water. Seriously. Okay, but then you have to go up here. Where does this go? Yeah, just a shortcut. Still worth remembering, even though it's kind of annoying. Could you go left? Another tree thing. And not much else. Okay. Where am I? I didn't miss a checkpoint. Somehow. That's also nothing except a big plunge. That looks like it should be a spot. But a spot it is not. There's another tree. Save me, fight for me. Yeah, here. I want to check again. Down here. Although it doesn't really, no. It's nothing. We're getting a bit close to the finish, which isn't all that great. Oops. Okay. That was just dumb. Yeah, this is pretty much the finish. So I actually cheated and looked up between which checkpoints it is. It is between 5 and 6. I do my best to not cheat, but at some point I just stop caring, and like I said, I care more about just checking it off, regardless of how I find it. It hurts a bit at first, but like anytime I'm about to finish a game, but there's still stuff to collect, like in Jedi Survivor, or indeed Jedi Fallen Order. There's always a point where I start checking guides and then I just grind my way through the last collectibles, which in the case of Fallen Order and both Jedi games was still quite a lot. Which I then justify by making reading videos of all those entries. I'm not sure if I was at checkpoint 4 or 5. This was 4. Okay. Apologies, but I had to be sure. So it has to be after the next checkpoint. I'm preparing for a facepalm, because I'm sure it's going to be in a spot which I should have seen, but I didn't. Here you can't go. Here on the left was that long shortcut which didn't seem to go anywhere. Oh, maybe that does go somewhere if you're a bit careful. No. That would not make sense. Like, just down here would make sense. But it's not there. Up here, no. It's not really obvious enough. Oh. This is new. Okay. All resting places on Redmoor Peaks. I apologize for cheating, but I'm not really sorry. And this is easy to say now, but I'm pretty sure I would never have found that by myself without any clues. Because yeah, like, maybe I would have. It's hard to say, but it's not worth you know, it's not worth the sacrifice of aggravation, which is not at all what these videos are supposed to be about anyway. Quite the opposite. I don't really have to finish the trail, but might as well. Almost crashed into the bridge. And a flourish to the finish. this expert challenge is not available. This is fully complete. Here we need this one with the boar, which might be possible. And this one is Geronimo. I am gonna try this now. 220 or less with 7 crashes or fewer with the boar. Right. This old chestnut. What am I doing? Probably not gonna be able to do this right now. I'll consider this a refresher, if anything. I know there were some pretty big shortcuts, but I can't remember any of them. I guess with this bike you're really supposed to take the more aggressive shortcuts. Because it should be able to handle them. Not like that. Straight onto the rock. No. Terrible. That's just not the way. Not doing so well. Okay. Last chance to not crash. Let's try this again. I should have finished the last attempt just to see if I could get the time. I'm considering this false advertising. This bike is really not all that great off-piste. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the time. I wish I could remember more of the shortcuts. Oh, really? This was a mistake. To attempt this right now. Okay, be careful in this section. What am I doing? This is not even that hard. just finish for the time and hit every single rock on the trail. There's another one of those sign tree things. What the hell am I doing? Might as well hit it, but I forgot. Okay, the time is easily doable. Even without many shortcuts. So let's do this one last time. We can crash as much as we want here. Ideally, not too many crashes here. Such a shame. Yeah, so I have to make it through that second rocky place with 0 or maybe 1 crash. I'll tell you what my problem is. I just can't remember where the rocks are, and by extension which line I should follow. Okay, then this much shorter and not all that difficult. I always go too far to the right there. Doesn't matter. That does matter. Of course, I'm rushing at the worst possible time. I should not have tried this. Should have just called it quits after that rest spot. This one, first try, of course. It's not that difficult. Same deal, I just can't remember where to go. Still very much doable. Time is not the concern. Okay. So that's officially everything we can do right now in the daytime completed. in Redmore Peaks and the Greater Horn. Struggling to remember the names. So maybe next time I could try night mode. Some of them will probably be locked behind bikes we don't have yet, but I can try a few at least. Or if I'm really not feeling it at night, we can just switch to the next mountain, Sierra Rivera. And basically start from scratch here. But that is going to be it for this one. As always, thank you for watching and for listening. And I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.